Muy buenos días a todos. Es un verdadero placer darles la más cordial bienvenida a esta hermosa celebración del Día de la Cultura Cubana. Hoy celebramos la música, la poesía, la historia y el espíritu alegre del pueblo cubano. Que viva la cultura, que viva la amistad y que viva Cuba. Yes. Right, I tried my hand with a little Spanish today, you know, have to be inclusive and all of that. So once again, good morning, everyone. It is truly, how well did I do? Was it a good attempt? Yeah, all right, awesome. Thank you again. It is truly a pleasure to welcome you all to this vibrant celebration of Cuban Culture Day here at Northern Caribbean University, which was organized by the Department of Humanities from the Modern Languages area. Today we come together not only to honor Cuba's rich cultural heritage, but also to celebrate the partnership that we have here, especially in Jamaica and at NCU, that partnership of friendship and simply understanding what unites our nations. So right now, I'm seeing a lot of you as well in your red. I am in my red, my blue, and my white. I'm coordinating with the flag of Cuba, or the Estrella Solitaria, the Lone Star flag. I did some research. I made sure to do my research before coming today. So in doing my research, I learned that red symbolizes the courage and the sacrifice of those who fought for Cuba's freedom. Then we have white, which represents purity and integrity, which are qualities that we all should fashion. And then we have blue. It might not be the right shade of the blue, but I'm wearing blue just the same. And it represents the 3 provinces of Cuba at the time that Cuba would have gained its independence. And it also represents the unity and strength of the Cuban people. So, through music, language, art, and history, we are reminded that culture is what connects us. No matter how diverse our cultures may be, as long as we have a bit of an understanding, we are able to connect and be able to relate and even to exchange as well some bits of our cultures. So it provides a bridge and it brings the nations together, doesn't it? Just as we are here right now. So as we begin this morning's program, let us just open our minds to learn. Let us make ourselves, able to receive all the information that we will be given, as well as let us open our voices to sing and our hearts to celebrate. So once again, bienvenidos, welcome to our celebration of Cuban culture. Que viva Cuba. Yes. So at this time, to properly begin our Cuban Heritage Day, we are all going to stand as we sing the Jamaican National Anthem and the Cuban National Anthem.
$29.11. Porque yo sé los planes que tengo para ustedes, afirma el Señor, planes de bienestar y no de calamidad, a fin de darles un futuro y una esperanza.
Hoy celebramos con alegría el Día del Patrimonio Cubano, una oportunidad para recordar nuestras raíces, nuestra historia y la mano de Dios que siempre ha estado sobre nuestro pueblo. La cultura cubana es una mezcla hermosa de fe, resiliencia y esperanza. A lo largo de los años, el pueblo cubano ha demostrado que aún en medio de las dificultades, la fe en Dios mantiene viva alegría, la música y el amor por la vida. Así como el pueblo de Israel confió en los planes de Dios durante tiempos de prueba. También nosotros somos llamados a confiar en que el Señor tiene un propósito para cada nación, cada familia y cada corazón. Hoy, mientras celebramos nuestra herencia, recordemos que nuestra verdadera fuerza viene de Dios, quien nos sostiene con su amor y nos guía hacia un futuro lleno de esperanza.
Les invito a ponerse para orar. Señor, gracias por la tierra de Cuba, por su gente, su cultura, su historia y su fe. Bendice a todos los cubanos donde quiera que estén. Que tu amor siga siendo el centro de nuestras vidas y que siempre podamos reflejar a tu luz a través de nuestra alegría, unidad y esperanza. En el nombre de Jesús, amén. Les invito a tomar asiento. El pensamiento final es: celebrar la herencia es también celebrar la fidelidad de Dios. Él ha estado con Cuba, está con nosotros hoy y seguirá guiándonos hacia un mañana lleno de fe y esperanza. Gracias por escuchar.
I don't know if you all were paying attention, but all of that was presented in Spanish. And I believe we should give both Roxanne and Naima a big round of applause for such a lovely presentation of this morning's devotion. Truly, I can say that the Lord's presence is felt, even though for some, you may not have understood all of it. It's good that we can all say that the Lord's presence is indeed in this place. So now that we have officially commenced our program, at this time we will be welcoming a few individuals, few of our distinguished guests here in our midst today to bring us greetings. We will hear from members of the Office of the Cuban High Commission, and we also want to greet the head of the Health Mission in Jamaica, as well as representatives from the Cuban Health Mission in Mandeville. Please give them a big round of applause. We're glad and very happy and esteemed to have you here joining us for this special occasion. So to bring us greetings in this order, we'll have Dr. Harrison, the head of the Humanities Department, and then we'll have Dr. Vincent Peterkin, the Dean of the College of Humanities, Behavioral and Social Sciences, and Dr. Nanibala Paul, the Vice President of Academic Administration. So that's 3 of our 6 greetings, and afterwards I'll come back to state who will be following afterwards. So please welcome Dr. Rhonda Harrison, the head of the Humanities Department.
Buenos días, todos. His Excellency, the Honorable Ambassador Fermin Quinoez Sanchez of Cuba, Mr. Roland da Silva Gallardo, Charge d'Affaires, Miss Isabel Landro Ocha, Council Amba, Cuba, Jamaica, Miss Katia Maria Ocho Aguilera, Head of the Health Mission in Jamaica, Mr. Reynal Islage, Head of the Cuban Educational Mission, Mr. Ricardo Zamora Alvarez de la Campa, Head of the Health Mission in Mandeville, Dr. Lincoln Edwards, CD, President of Northern Caribbean University, Dr. Nanibala Paul, VP of Academic Affairs, and Dr. Vincent Peterkin, Dean of the College of Humanities and Behavioral Sciences, specially invited guests, specially invited schools, all of our students, a pleasant good morning. Mine is a pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the Department of Humanities. Today marks a special occasion in both the life of the department and the university as we celebrate the unique linkages developed through our BA in Spanish Studies. Cuba has always held a special place in the BA Spanish Studies program. Traditionally, our majors would have gone to Cuba for 2 weeks for the immersion program. The memories created by the experience are numerous and have enriched both the life of the program, the students, and the university. Additionally, for the last 20 years, the core of Spanish lecturers has been Cuban, and this too has enriched our program as our students are taught by native Spanish speakers who have an intimate understanding of the nuances of the language, the culture that are reflected in the literature our students are studying. Today, the presence of the Cuban Diplomatic Corps to celebrate the Department of Humanities Cuban Heritage Day marks a significant milestone in our relationship as we celebrate together the linkages and rich relationships between our two entities. As we celebrate today, I say, gracias por compañeros y espero que disfruten nuestras celebraciones.
Good morning, everyone. I'm staying within my lane. It's my distinct pleasure, on behalf of the College of Humanities, Behavioral and Social Sciences, to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all gathered here for this special celebration of Cuban Heritage Day. We are especially honored to have among us His Excellency the Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba in Jamaica and his distinguished and lovely wife who has come to join him on this occasion. We also want to make welcome to the distinguished delegation from the Embassy of Cuba. Bienvenidos a Northern Caribbean University. That's all right. Your presence here today is both a privilege and a symbol of the deep cultural and educational ties that unite Jamaica and Cuba. I also extend warm greetings to our university president, Professor Lincoln Edwards, our distinguished administrators, faculty, staff, and students, as well as our esteemed guests from Church Teachers College and the high schools across Manchester, whose students are pursuing studies in Spanish. We're delighted that you could join us in this celebration of culture, language, and fellowship. Today's event, hosted by the Department of Humanities, is more than a cultural observance. It is a bridge of understanding between peoples. As we celebrate the rich heritage, music, art, and values of the Cuban people, we also affirm our shared commitment to education, solidarity, and human connection. Language, as we know, is more than words. It is a window into the soul of a people. Through learning Spanish and engaging with Cuba's heritage, our students and community embrace a spirit of global citizenship, one that values respect, cooperation, and cultural appreciation. As we listen to His Excellency's keynote address and enjoy the cultural expressions that will follow, may we all be inspired to deepen our partnerships and celebrate the unity that diversity brings. Once again, welcome to Northern Caribbean University. May today's Cuban Heritage Celebration remind us that while our nations are distinct, our humanity is shared and our destinies intertwined. Welcome to the NCU experience.
Good morning, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all and bring greetings on behalf of the Office of Academic Affairs for the Cuban Heritage Day celebration here at Northern Caribbean University, a Seventh-day Adventist institution of higher learning. On Cuban Heritage Day, we celebrate the rich cultural heritage of Cuba and its contribution to the world. As we acknowledge the vibrant spirit of Cuban culture, we also recognize the strong ties between Cuba and Jamaica. Cuba and Jamaica share a deep cultural connection, from music and dance to food and traditions. Let's come together today to celebrate the beauty and diversity of both nations. A few years ago, actually it's my wish to visit Cuba from a very long time, but I didn't get the opportunity. But a few years ago, my husband had the opportunity to visit Cuba, and he shared this thing with me. He said he was so impressed by the rhythms of Cuban music, the flavors of Cuban cuisine, and the warmth of Cuban people. So as we celebrate today the Cuban Heritage Day here at Northern Caribbean University, let's all come together and let's celebrate humankind. God bless you all.
I'm just listening to all the greetings and taking note of the Spanish greetings that everybody was issuing while they were giving their greetings. I'm glad to know that there is more than just Feliz Navidad in many of our vocabularies. Yes, I've always wanted to be able to get to being a fluent Spanish speaker, but until we get to that point, I'd like to invite at this time the head of the Cuban Educative Brigade in Jamaica, Mr. Yoendris Ramirez Figueroa. I hope, was my pronunciation on point, sir? Okay, and following him, we'll have the president of the Northern Caribbean University, Dr. Lincoln Paul Edwards, and then to give us the greetings and keynote speaker, and to give us the greetings and keynote speech, we'll have His Excellency Fermin Quiñones Sanchez, and that's the order through which we will follow.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos días. Estimadas autoridades de la Northern Caribbean University, distinguidos miembros del claustro, apreciados estudiantes y comunidad universitaria en general.
Esteemed authorities of Northern Caribbean University, distinguished members of the faculty, valued students, and the university community at large.
Es para mí un honor y un privilegio dirigirme a ustedes en esta ocasión tan significativa. Como jefe de la misión educativa de la República de Cuba en Jamaica, traigo conmigo el más cordial y respetuoso saludo de nuestro país así como un firme compromiso con la educación y la colaboración internacional.
It is an honor and a privilege for me to address you on this significant occasion. As the head of the educational mission of the Republic of Cuba in Jamaica, I bring with me the warmest and most respectful greetings from our country, along with a firm commitment to education and international collaboration.
La Northern Caribbean University es una institución de renombre, reconocida por su excelencia académica, su rigor investigativo y su invaluable contribución al desarrollo integral de sus estudiantes y de la sociedad jamaicana. Admiramos profundamente su visión de formar líderes con principios éticos sólidos y conocimientos de vanguardia.
Northern Caribbean University is a renowned institution recognized for its academic excellence, research rigor, and invaluable contribution to the comprehensive development of its students and Jamaican society. We deeply admire your vision of shaping leaders with strong ethical principles and cutting-edge knowledge.
Desde Cuba, valoramos enormemente las oportunidades de intercambio y aprendizaje mutuo que nos brindan encuentros como este. Creemos firmemente que la educación es la piedra angular del progreso y que, a través de la cooperación, podemos construir puentes de conocimiento y entendimiento que beneficien a nuestras naciones y a la región.
From Cuba, we greatly value the opportunities for exchange and mutual learning that gatherings such as this one provide. We firmly believe that education is the cornerstone of progress and that, through cooperation, we can build bridges of knowledge and understanding that benefit our nations and the region.
Les reitero nuestro deseo de fortalecer los lazos de amistad y colaboración académica con la Northern Caribbean University. Estamos convencidos de que juntos podemos explorar vías para el enriquecimiento de nuestros sistemas educativos y a la formación de profesionales capaces de afrontar los desafíos del futuro. Agradezco sinceramente su cálida acogida y les deseo el mayor de los éxitos en todas sus iniciativas. Muchas gracias.
We reiterate our desire to strengthen the bonds of friendship and academic collaboration with Northern Caribbean University. We are convinced that together we can explore ways to enrich our educational systems and train professionals capable of meeting the challenges of the future. I sincerely thank you for your warm welcome and wish you the greatest success in all your endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. It gives me great joy on behalf of the Northern Caribbean University to welcome you all to this special celebration of Cuban Heritage Day. We are deeply honored by the presence of His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to Jamaica, Ambassador Sanchez and his lovely wife, and the delegation from the embassy. And certainly welcome the distinguished delegation from the Embassy of Cuba. Bienvenidos a Northern Caribbean University. Thank you. Your visit brings warmth, friendship, and a sense of shared purpose that we value deeply. I also wish to recognize the Spanish and students from Church Teachers College and from the various high schools across Manchester who have joined us today. We are delighted that you are part of this cultural exchange which affirms our mutual appreciation for language, learning, and international cooperation. At Northern Caribbean University, we believe that education is not only about acquiring knowledge, but also about cultivating understanding. Understanding that transcends borders and builds bridges among nations. Today's celebration reminds us that the study of language and culture opens the door to friendship, respect, and shared progress. As we celebrate the vibrant heritage of the Cuban people, their art, music, resilience, and contribution to humanity, may we also renew our commitment to fostering strong educational and cultural ties between our institutions and nations. I commend the Department of Humanities for organizing this meaningful event, and I thank all who have contributed to making it a success. Once again, to His Excellency and your delegation, to our teachers, students, and guests, welcome to Northern Caribbean University. May today's experience strengthen our bonds of friendship and inspire continued collaboration in education and culture. Muchas gracias y bienvenidos todos. Thank you.
So throughout the greetings, there were a few things that jumped out at me. So we were hearing a lot of talk about building bridges, you know, fostering that connection and that communication between two different worlds which have now collided. And we also have strengthening the bonds of friendship. If you know you have a close friend, you know, there's something about having that strong bond with that friend, knowing that if anything, you can call on the friend, you know, if you have any situation, that friend can be able to assist, to help, to bring you further. And then we also have opening the door to respect and shared progress. There's something that is very, very important about progress. You know, we may be stagnant for some time, but you see, they always say 2 heads are better than 1, or 4 pairs of hands rather, are better than 2. So when we collaborate, there's an opportunity for shared progress. So I hope that you are all enlightened by the greetings that were brought just a while ago by Dr. Rhonda Harrison, head of the Humanities Department, Dr. Vincent Peterkin, Dean of the College of Humanities, Behavioral and Social Sciences, Dr. Nanibala Paul, the Vice President of Academic Administration, Mr. Yoendris Ramirez Figueroa, head of the Cuban Educative Brigade in Jamaica, or President of Northern Caribbean University, Dr. Lincoln Paul Edwards, and the Ambassador of the Cuban Embassy, who is yet to give his greetings and keynotes, His Excellency Fermin Quinones Sanchez. And also, welcome to his lovely wife as well. Please make His Excellency Fermin Quinones Sanchez welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Lincoln Edwards, President of Northern Caribbean University, Dr. Vincent Peterkin, Dean of SHUPS, Dr. Nibala Paul, Vice President of Academic Administration, Dr. Harrison, Head of Humanities Department. Dear professors, dear collaborators in health present today, students, and many others that will be watching on TV what we are organizing today. Students and lecturers from NCU and other educational institutions in the region who are with us in this very important moment for the Cuban people. Allow me to thank you on behalf of the Cuban State Mission in Jamaica for this opportunity to celebrate the Cuban Culture Day on the campus of the Northern Caribbean University. October has a special significance for the Cuban people. During this month, we immerse ourselves in a profound celebration of our national identity. The island becomes the scene of activities that honor indispensable personalities of our cultural thought and commemorate historical moments that have marked the history of our homeland. This year, the celebration has a special significance. Under the slogan, "Culture is the Nation," we highlight the legacy of the historic leader of the Cuban Revolution, Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro Ruz, on the centenary of his birth, and of Armando Hart Dávalo, a key intellectual in the articulation of the Cuban cultural policy after the triumph of the Cuban Revolution. Fidel and Hart played an essential role in conceiving culture as a right of the people, not a privilege of the elites. The legacy is not limited to speeches or documents, but is manifested in every school, library, cinema, theater, and community space where art and knowledge are shared as tools of emancipation. Thanks to their vision, today in Cuba, culture does not exclude, but rather brings people together. It does not separate, but rather unite. It is a platform that allows each individual to recognize themselves in their history, actively participate in social life, and contribute to the construction of a more just, more inclusive, and more self-aware country. In this sense, cultural rights are not only an achievement, but a shared responsibility, that of keeping alive the flame of identity, inclusion, and community. Cuban culture is an amalgam of knowledge from all the ancestral culture that arrived on the island over centuries and shaped the monolithic yet diverse nation that we are today. We draw from the lifeblood of the original communities of these Caribbean lands, from the European colonizers, from the slave torn from the Mother Africa, and even from Asian immigrants who arrived from distant China, Japan, and the Middle East. The Taínos and Siboneyes, who also inhabited Jamaica, left us the legacy of rhythmic dances, the cultivation and use of tobacco, and foods that we are consuming today. The colonizers contributed with knowledge, custom, tradition, and even the language that we speak today in Cuba. Africa imprinted its essence, strength, and wisdom on us, and Asia is persistence and dedication. But the catalyst was the desire of a people to recognize themselves as a nation and to unite in the struggle for the independence. Thus, our flag and our national anthem were born, a war march that we commemorate today and that call us to fight and die for our homeland. Cuban culture has never been static. It receives and contributes. It reflects the rich mix of influence that has characterized Cuba throughout its history. It is a melting pot of music, dance, art, tradition, and customs that reflect the history and people of Cuba. Cuban music, for example, is a fusion of Africa, Spanish, and indigenous rhythm, and has given rise to genders such as son, salsa, mambo, and timba. Cuban salsa, mambo, cha-cha-cha, and danzón are just some of the styles that have their roots on the island. Cuban dance is as vital as its music, and it taught from early age. Cuban culture is a legacy that has guided us for decades, promoting art as right of the people and the bastion of ideas. In complex situations, it had been the nation's lifeline. During the difficult times of the special periods in the 1990s, Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro affirmed that culture was the shield and sword of the nation, embracing the words of the apostle of the Cuban nation, José Martí. Trenches of ideas are worse than trenches of stone. Without identity, without culture, there can be no freedom. Cuba's international achievement and recognition in the field of culture have been significant over the last 60 years. However, this sector had not been exempt from the impact of the economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed by the government of the United States against our people. This genocidal policy significantly limits the promotion, dissemination, commercialization of Cuban talent, making it difficult to find niche of markets and business opportunity. As a result, sale prices are depressed and access to and enjoyment of Cuban art by audience on all continents is restricted. Allow me to conclude by once again thanking Professor Niulka, the directors, the president of NCU, lecturer from NCU, for this possibility to come here to celebrate the Cuban Culture Day. I invite you to remain in this theater and enjoy the performance that the students and professors have prepared with great care and effort, confident that you will learn a little about Cuban culture and test your knowledge of the Spanish language. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Viva la cultura. Viva Jamaica. Viva Cuba. Thank you very much again.
I took notes once again while His Excellency was speaking, and he said something that I believe is very, very important, and it's integral as to why we are here today. He said, culture does not exclude, culture does not separate, but rather it unites. And we are all here this morning. We're still here in the morning. The morning hours, awesome. Yes, we're all here this morning, united because of culture. And I was also thinking about something while I was there. We are all able to be identified by culture, but we're also identifiable because of our names. So, you know, we have Cubans, Jamaicans, we have the members of CTC. We wouldn't be able to identify them if we didn't have the name Church Teachers College. We also have the members of the Educative Brigade of Cuba. And while I was reflecting on the different names, I realized I did not tell anybody my name. No one knows my name, right? But let me change that right now. My name is Jonelle Lawrence, and I am deeply honored to be your Master of Ceremonies for today's program. It comes late, but it's important that we are all able to be identified by our names, and I would love to be identified by my name as well. And at this time, there's another lovely lady who I will now identify by her name, Miss Annabel Landron Ochoa, who will be doing a presentation about the Cuban embassy, or rather the Cuban heritage. And it's important for us all to understand and learn more about heritage. So at this time, please give her a round of applause as she makes her way to enlighten us.
Good morning, buenos días a todos. Allow me to thank you once again for this opportunity. And I would like to begin recognizing the NCU students who sang the notes of the Cuban national anthem at the beginning of the event. That gesture touched the heart of every single Cuban present today. Thank you so much. And I will begin this brief presentation with a question, especially for students. Do you know why October 20 is the Cuban Culture Day and not other day in the year? Do you have an idea? Okay, well, precisely October 20 marks one of the most significant dates in Cuban history, the essence of Cuban heritage. On that day, in 1868, the lyrics of the Cuban national anthem were written. I cannot speak of culture without touching on historical essentials. After the Spanish forces surrendered in Bayamo to the Mambises troops of the Ejército Libertador, commanded by Carlos Manuel de Céspedes, the euphoric people of Bayamo asked Cuban patriot Pedro Figueredo Perucho to write the lyrics of the anthem he has composed months early and orchestrated by fellow Cuban Muñoz Cedeño, which everyone was already humming. This happened at the outbreak of the 10 Years' War. And so, amid the popular excitement over the victory, sitting on the back of his horse, Perucho wrote the lyrics of La Valla Mesa, which were copied from hand to hand and sung by all those present at that glorious moment. Each verse of La Valla Mesa is a call to arms, a battle call, a song of freedom, an evocation of the common feeling. It is the determination of the people to raise the Cuban flag alongside the cry of Viva Cuba Libre until they see their homeland free or die for it. And it was precisely this symbolism that led to the decision by the Cuban Council of Ministers 45 years ago to designate 20 October as Cuban Culture Day. Whenever I ask to talk about the Cuban culture over the last 6 decades, I'm faced with a great dilemma, as I feel that time will not do justice. Today, I would like to briefly refer to significant moments in Cuban cultural history after the triumph of the Cuban Revolution on January 1st, 1959, and which remain relevant to the present day. And I would like to begin with this quote from the Commander-in-Chief, Fidel Castro Ruz. I'm sorry. Next one, please. Okay. And that said, one of the fundamental purposes of the revolution is to develop art and culture, precisely so that art and culture become a true heritage of the people. And I would like to refer just a few important facts that happened especially during the 60s and 70s. Next one, please. Okay, we have the National Literacy Campaign in 1961, when almost the entire Cuban population learns to read and write. So culture is democratized. Also in 1961, we have the foundation of the Cuban Film Institute that promotes high-quality Cuban cinema with social content recognized worldwide. Also in 1961, we have the creation of Casa de las Américas that promotes Latin American and Caribbean literature and art. And I would like to also make a special point to the art instructors, conceiving the idea that young people with artistic talent and vocation will bring culture to all communities in the country as a way of defending national traditions and promoting knowledge about art. I would like to make a pause now and come back to the work of the Cuban Institute of Cinematographic Art, ICAT, and share a small sample of animated shots. And that is that Cuban animation for children and young people does not overlook the work of the Cuban national hero, José Martí. I will invite you now to enjoy the cartoon Venga mi caballero, made in 2015, while you also enjoy in Spanish the poem Los zapaticos de rosa. Please play the video.
Pepito, Pepito, despiértate, vamos. Acuérdate que hoy les toca recitar la poesía en el matutino.
Sí, ya estoy listo, mami, ya.
Espérate, niño. Primero, lávate los dientes.
Sí, Ya vamos a estar lavando, mami, ya.
Ahora desayuna. Así.
¡Ay! Ya voy.
Muchacho, no corras, ten mucho cuidado.
¡Chao, mami! ¡Ay, son bueno! Y mar de espuma y arena fina. Y Pilar quiere salir a estrenar su sombrerito de plumas. ¡Ah! ¡Vaya la niña divina! Está la playa muy linda. Todo el mundo está en la playa. Lleva espejuelos el aya de la francesa Florinda. Y quema la Magdalena con tantas cintas y lazos a la muñeca sin brazos enterrándola en la arena. Trabaja mucho, trabaja para andar. Yo tengo una niña enferma que llora en el cuarto oscuro. Anoche soñó con el cielo y oyó un canto. Con sus dos brazos menudos estaba como abrazando y yo mirando sus piececitos desnudos.
¿Sí? Dígame. Ay, mira, qué cachorrito más lindo. Pobrecito. Deja que Pepito lo vea. Le va a encantar.
Vuelven calladas de noche a su casa del jardín y Pilar va en el cojín de la derecha del coche. Y dice una mariposa que vio desde su rosal, guardados en un cristal, los zapaticos de rosa.
I hope that you enjoyed this cartoon and that you were able to identify some of the values that Cuban children have. Cuba and Jamaica are united by geography, history, and of course, culture. I would like to conclude my brief presentation by sharing with you some facts about the presence of Cuban culture in Jamaica. At the end of the 19th century, Cuban musicians brought styles such as danzón and son to Jamaica, which influenced early Jamaican rhythms such as mento, the predecessor of reggae. In the 40s and 50s, Jamaican jazz bands or orchestras incorporate Cuban rhythms such as mambo and cha-cha-cha. Many clubs in Kingston play Cuban music. Also, we have it in the use of Afro-Caribbean percussion instruments, such as congas and bongos, expanded thanks to this influence. We have the presence also in gastronomy. Some Jamaican dishes bear similarities to Cuban cuisine, such as the use of fried plantains, rice and peas, and pork dishes, reflecting a Afro-Caribbean heritage. To conclude, I will leave you with this reflection. Culture is the soul of a nation, the foundation upon which a society conscious of its history, values, and future prospect has been built. It is not only artistic expression on intangible heritage, but a living force that articulates thought. sensitivity, and collective action. Una vez más, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.
You know, many persons tend to describe the Caribbean as a melting pot. And it was so interesting to see how there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Or for those of you who may not understand, in some way, shape, or form, we're all a part of each other. So, you know, listening to Miss Landron Ochoa, she touched on music. I love music. And she expressed that mento, it stemmed from Cuba, and it is the predecessor to reggae. And it was just very interesting learning that. You know, we're all here to learn and to highlight a lot about the Cuban heritage. And it's amazing how incorporated and how connected we all are. But at this time, I come bearing gifts, or rather, Miss Niurka Puerto Rodriguez will come on stage with me right now to bear gifts and to gift, or rather, His Excellency Fermin Quiñones Sanchez, the ambassador of the Cuban Embassy at this time. Could you please approach the stage as well, sir? Please give him a round of applause. And this is just our token of appreciation, a token of appreciation from the Department of Humanities as well as Northern Caribbean University to show how much we appreciate you being here today, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Yeah. All right. Yes. Once again, a round of applause, everybody. Yes. Now, as I stated earlier, we are all a part of each other. And I feel like that's probably the statement or the phrase for today to show how much we are connected. We're here to speak about Cuban heritage, and where I was first introduced to Spanish, or a little bit of the Spanish heritage, and by extension, Cuban heritage, through school. And as was stated earlier, we have members of the Cuban Educative Brigade in Jamaica here with us today. And at this time, I'd like to invite the teachers from each of the schools to stand up so that we can recognize them. All right, give them a round of applause, please. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much. Yes, and they have been very instrumental in the lives of many students across Jamaica, enlightening them about the Spanish heritage and how to say a little one and two things in Spanish. So thank you so much for being here as well. And at this time, we will move over into an item by two of NCU's Spanish majors, Miss Kayana and Ricardo. Oh, you may be seated. Siéntense. Yes, I'd like to invite Kiana, or rather Kayana, and Ricardo to perform or render the poem Versos Sencillos. All right, please give them a round of applause.
Sincero, de donde crece la palma, y antes de morir me quiero echar mis versos del alma.
Yo vengo de todas partes y hacia todas partes voy. Arte soy entre las artes, en los montes, monte soy.
Yo sé los nombres extraños de las hierbas y las flores, y de mortales engaños y de sublimes dolores.
Yo he visto en la noche oscura llover sobre mi cabeza los rayos de lumbre pura de la divina belleza.
A las nacer vi en los hombros de las mujeres hermosas y salir de los escombros volando las mariposas.
He visto vivir a un hombre con el puñal al costado, sin decir jamás el nombre de aquella que lo ha matado. Rápida como un reflejo,
2 veces vi el alma, 2,
cuando murió el pobre viejo,
cuando ella
me dio adiós. Buenos días a todos. Jose Marti's poem, Cultivo una Rosa Blanca, is a statement about choosing kindness and forgiveness over bitterness, no matter how others treat you. The speaker explains that they cultivate a white rose, a symbol of purity, innocence, and peace, for both their sincere friend and for the cruel person who would tear out their heart. Instead of growing nettles or thorns in return for being wronged, the speaker consciously chooses to nurture goodness. The poem's central message is that an individual can rise above the negativity and cruelty of others by intentionally offering grace and compassion, thereby maintaining their own integrity and peace.
In these stanzas, Jose Marti introduces himself as a genuine man from his beloved homeland of Cuba, whose words are a heartfelt reflection of his soul before he dies. He declares that he belongs everywhere and is a part of everything, art, nature, and the larger human experience. He reveals that he has seen both the beautiful and the tragic parts of life. The pure brightness of divine beauty, new beginnings emerging from destruction like butterflies from ruins, and the profound, silent pain of a man dying with a secret. Most deeply, he shares that he has seen the soul twice in his life, once at the moment his poor father died, and a second time when a beloved person said goodbye, revealing the raw emotional truth that love and loss bring. These verses show a man who has lived and felt everything deeply, carrying both the joy and the sorrow within him.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Y que tengas un gran día.
In listening to the poem, or rather throughout the course of the program, I've been hearing a recurring name that sounded oh so familiar to me, the name of Jose Marti. I'm familiar with the name because here in Jamaica, there's a high school, a technical high school, named Jose Marti Technical High School. So of course, I was persuaded to do a bit more research. And I know now that that institution was a gift from Cuba to Jamaica. So it's been a long time that there has been a relationship between Cuba and Jamaica. And speaking of relationships, I don't see my Spanish teacher. Oh, hi, Miss Rodriguez. So yes, I remember there was a day some time ago when she was enlightening us a bit more on the Cuban heritage. We were taught the song, or rather we listened to the song, Guantanamera. And she had us dancing in the classroom as well. Guantanamera, Guaira, Guantanamera. Yes, man. And, you know, I saw the name and I was like, I know this song. So at this time, we're going to have a video being played from Christiana High School, whose teacher, their Spanish teacher, is Miss Unia Ruiz. This is Miss Ruiz, everybody. You can give her a round of applause. She has been doing great work with the students of Christiana High School. And I thank you so much for jogging my memory with the name of that song as well, to a very pleasant moment during my time with Miss Rodriguez. So we will now go to that video with the students of the Christiana High School singing the song, Guantanamera.
Guantanamera, Guaira, Guantanamera. Guantanamera, Guaira, Guantanamera. Los hombres no me sincero, de donde crece yo te espero y yo quiero cantar el Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera. Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera. Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Bahía Guantanamera.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. That song is one of Cuba's most famous and beloved songs, and it has immediately become one of my favorite Cuban songs. And it's unofficially the country's national anthem. Some people may consider it as that, and I can see why. It's very catchy. And beyond the catchiness of the song, the title means the woman from Guantanamo, which is a province in eastern Cuba. And that song, as I said, it's very, very beloved by many, many Cubans, and it has been beloved by a lowly Jamaican here right with you. Now we will move over to another video with the poem Dia de la Cultura Cubana from Spalding Primary School.
Dia la Cultura Cubana. En octubre, un día la luz Cuba vibra con dulce voz, da la palma al mar azul, la nación se canta con gozo, con arte, danza y canción, si el amor de mi gente que van viva con siempre la nación. Viva la cultura cubana.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And another product of Cuban teachers, we have a group of students from the Church Teachers College presenting La Balada de los Abuelos. Please make the lovely ladies welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, we are going to present a poem called Ballads of the Grandparents, Spanish Balada de los Abuelos, which is written by Nicolás Guillén, who is our national poet. And this poem refers to the mixture of Cuban culture. I mean, how the Cuban culture was created, coming from the African and also by the Spanish people. I mean, the people that came to America, to Cuba in this opportunity, and that gave origin to the Cuban culture. So I invite you, after this poem, to listen to the translation of it that will be performed by Ms. Tamika Gordon and Ms. Alia Allen. Okay? So, sombras que solo yo veo, me escoltan mis dos abuelos. Lanza con punta de hueso, tambor de cuero y madera, mi abuelo negro. Gorguera en cuello ancho, gris armadura guerrera, mi abuelo blanco.
Pie desnudo, torso petrío, los de mi negro, pupilas de vidrio antártico, las de mi blanco.
África de selvas húmedas y de gorgos gongos sordos. Me muero, dice mi abuelo negro.
Agua puntera de caimanes, verdes mañanas de cocos. Me canso, dice mi abuelo blanco.
Ovelas de amargo viento, galeón ardiendo en oro. Me muero, dice mi abuelo negro.
¿Qué de barcos? ¿Qué de barcos? ¿Qué de negros? ¿Qué de negros? ¿Qué largo fulgor de cañas? ¿Qué látigo el del negrero? Piedra de llanto y sangre, penas y ojos entreabiertos, y madrugadas vacías y atardeceres de ingenios, y una gran voz, fuerte voz, despedazando el silencio. ¿Qué de barcos? ¿Qué de barcos? ¿Qué de negros?
Sombras que soy yo veo, me escoltan mis dos abuelos. Don Federico me grita y Faita Facundo calla. Los dos en la noche sueñan y andan, andan. Yo los junto.
Federico, Facundo, los dos se abrazan, los dos suspiran.
Los dos las fuertes cabezas alzan, los dos del mismo tamaño, bajo las estrellas altas.
Los del mismo tamaño, ansia negra y ansia blanca, los del mismo tamaño, gritan, sueñan, lloran, cantan.
Sueñan, lloran, cantan, lloran, cantan, cantan. Now, I invite you to listen to the translation of the poem.
Ballad of the Grandparents. Shadows that only I can see. My two grandparents escort me. Spear with a bone taper, drum made of leather and wood. My black grandfather, wide ruff around his neck, gray warrior armor, my white grandfather.
Bare feet, stony chest, those of my black one, pupils of Antarctic glass, those of my white one.
Africa have humid jungles and dull, heavy gongs, I'm dying, says my black grandfather.
Crocodile swamps, green mornings of coconuts, I'm tired, says my white grandfather.
Oh, sails of bitter wind, a Gaian burning in gold, I'm dying, says my black grandfather.
So many ships, so many ships, so many black people, so many black people. What a long glare of cane. What a whip that of the slave trader. Stone of tears and blood, veins and half-open eyes, and empty dawns, and sunsets of milling, and a great voice, a strong voice, breaking the silence. So many ships, so many ships, so many black people.
Shadows that only I can see. My two grandparents escort me. Don Federico shouts at me, and Taita Facundo keeps silent. Both of them dream in the night, and walk, I bring them together.
Federico, Facundo, the two embrace. They both sigh. They both raise their strong heads. Both the same size under the high stars.
Both the same size, black longing and white longing. Both the same size. They shout, they dream, they cry, they sing. They dream, they cry, they sing. They cry, they sing, they sing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is our performance from Church Teachers College. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
I hope you have been enjoying the program so far. Yes? Okay, great. And we are going to continue. We're going to continue with our performances and our renditions at this time with a poem entitled the Q words always catch me. Quiereme entera by our NCU Spanish major, Miss Roxanne Russell. Please give her some encouragement and show her some love.
Quiéreme entera, de Dulce María Lunaz. Quiéreme entera. Si me quieres, quiéreme entera. Quiéreme no por zonas de luz o sombra. Si me quieres, quiéreme negra y blanca y gris, verde y rubia y morena. Quiéreme día, quiéreme noche y madrugada en la ventana abierta. Si me quieres, no me recuerdes. Quiéreme toda o no me quieras. The translation is, if you love me whole, not in parts of light or shadow. If you love me black and white and gray, green and blonde and brunette. Love me in the day, love me at night, and at dawn by the open window. If you love me, don't trim me down. Love me whole, or don't love me at all. So this poem is a powerful call for unconditional love. The speaker asks to be accepted in all her complexity, light and dark, joy and sorrow, beauty and flaws. She rejects partial affection or selective acceptance, insisting that true love embraces the entire person, not just the convenient or pleasant parts. Gracias.
That was a lovely presentation by Roxanne. Good job. Okay, at this time we are going to take the light off of the students for a bit, and we're going to pay some attention to our teachers. At this time I'm inviting teachers from each of the schools to come to the podium and to talk about their work teaching Spanish in Jamaica, because you can understand that they must have a story. They must be able to recount and recall their experience while being here so far. So our first teacher will be Miss Maite Diaz Martinez. teacher at the Mizpah Primary School. Please make her welcome.
Good morning again. My name is Maite Diaz Martinez. I've been working in Mizpah Primary School for 5 years now, and it has been a pleasure for me to be working in Jamaica because I have the opportunity to develop abilities in the students. I mean, they have the opportunity to learn Spanish. And what I'm going to present is an activity from those we do at the Spanish Club. So, thank you.
And we're not completely through with the students as well. We will have a video from Mizpah Primary School and their teacher, Miss Maite Diaz Martinez, presenting Oda a Cuba.
Cuba, Caimán dormido, banado en el Caribe, y de su gente recibes un calor infinito. Te abraza el sabor exquisito al ritmo del tambor y la bomba. Buscan también el sabor de una historia que es bonita y que a su gente invita a variar al paso del sol. Su comida tiene el sazón y un sabor singular. Cuba es eso comprar. Tierra que el alma lleva, azúcar, miel y una estrella.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Round of applause for Miss Martinez and her lovely students. And at this time, we invite Miss Annabelle, who will be coming with the poem 20 de Octubre, Canto y Raíz. I hear the word canto, so that means I sing. I've been learning something. And she will be presenting on behalf of McIntosh Memorial Primary School.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to share this special day. I like to present a poem I wrote with love for Cuban Culture Day. The title is October 20th, Sounds and Roots. 20 de octubre, día de fiesta. La cultura cubana se manifiesta con ritmo y sabor, con poesía y arte. Cuba se viste de gala con amor y pasión que reparte. La música suena, los tambores laten, los bailadores bailan con pasos que combaten. La Habana se ilumina con luces de colores. El malecón se llena de risa y de amores. La cultura cubana es un tesoro preciado que se comparte con el mundo sin temor a ser juzgado, con Martí y con Bola, con Chano y Ana Fidelia. Cuba canta y baila con alma de feria. ¡Viva Cuba! ¡Viva su cultura! ¡Viva la isla que late con pasión y locura! ¡Viva el 20 de octubre, día de fiesta y de gloria! ¡Viva la cultura cubana que nos llena de alegría y de gloria! Thank you very much.
Very, very, very passionate presentation by Miss Annabelle. En este momento tendremos un poema llamado Negro Soy, and this poem will be presented by the Spanish teachers, Mr. Yoasmani and Mr. Vladimir from Belhabara Primary School and Patricktown All Age and Infant School. Please make them welcome.
Okay, I would like to introduce myself at the Jamaican style by saying, Wawan Jamaica! So, good morning, everyone. Buenos días a todos. It is a pleasure for me to be here and share the poem I am black. ¿Por qué me dicen moreno si moreno no es un color? Yo tengo mi raza negra y de ella orgulloso estoy. Yo vengo de una raza que tiene una historia para contar de mis ancestros africanos y del sonar del tambor. Yo vengo de una raza que tiene una historia para contar que rompiendo las cadenas alcanzó la libertad. A sangre y fuego rompieron las cadenas de opresión y ese yugo esclavista que por años nos oprimió. Y otros me enredan el cuento llamándome de color, dizque para endulzarme la cosa y que no me ofenda yo. Yo soy negro como la noche, como el carbón mineral, como las entrañas de la tierra, como el eterno pedernal. Así que no disimulen llamándome de color, diciéndome moreno, porque negro es que soy yo. Thank you very much.
The translation. I am black. Why do they call me brunette if brunette is not a color? I have a race that is black, and God made me black. And others fix the story by calling me a person of color, just to sweeten the deal, they said, so that I won't be offended. I have my pure race, and I am proud of it, of my African ancestors and the sound of the drum. I come from a race that has a history to tell, that by breaking its chains achieved its freedom. With blood and fire they broke the chains of oppression, and that slavish yoke that crushed us for centuries. The blood in my body begins to rush out and rise to my head and begins to protest. I am black like the night, like mineral coal, like the entrail of the earth, and like the dark flint. So don't dissimulate by calling me a person of color. Call me a brunette, because black is what I am.
As a black person, that poem really resonated very well with me. And even more so, I have to try to provide an analysis from a communication studies major's perspective. So in that message, I could hear the exuding pride and identity. That's what I was getting from it. And, you know, there was a language that could empower and connect with us and inspire us as well. So please, once more, give a round of applause to Mr. Yosmani and Mr. Vladimir. We will now have an item by the Spanish majors, Marcin and Claudia, along with their Spanish lecturer, Ms. Rodriguez, and they will recite the poem Mi Bandera, written by the Cuban national poet, Bonifacio Bern. Give the ladies a round of applause, please.
Hola, buenos días.
Hola.
¿Es on? Okay. Al volver de distante ribera, con el alma enlutada y sombría, afanoso busqué mi bandera y otra he visto además de la mía.
¿Dónde está mi bandera cubana? La bandera más bella que existe. Desde el buque la vi esta mañana y no he visto una cosa más triste.
Con la fe de las almas austeras, hoy sostengo con honda energía que no deben flotar las banderas donde basta con una la mía.
En los campos que hoy son osario, vio a los bravos batiéndose juntos y ella ha sido el honroso sudario de los pobres guerreros difuntos.
Orgullosa lució en la pelea, sin pueril y romántico alarde. Al cubano que en ella no crea, se le debe exhortar por cobarde.
En el fondo de oscuras prisiones no escuchó ni la queja más leve, y sus huellas en otras regiones son letreros de luz en la nieve.
¿No las veis? Mi bandera es aquella que no ha sido jamás mercenaria y en la cual resplandece una estrella con más luz cuanto más solitaria.
Del destierro en el alma la traje entre tantos recuerdos dispersos y he sabido rendirle homenaje al hacerla flotar en mis versos.
Aunque la guida y triste termoya, mi ambición es que el sol con su lumbre la ilumine a ella sola, en el llano, en el mar y en la cumbre.
Si deshecha en menudos pedazos, llega a ser mi bandera algún día, nuestros muertos, alzando los brazos, la sabrán defender todavía. Gracias.
Towards the end of that poem, I heard everyone joining in to say a few lines. What was that about, Miss? What is it that you guys were saying? Could you translate it for me, please?
This is just about the Cuban flag.
Okay.
Okay, and everything, let's say, people who fought for the Cuban Revolution since the very beginning did to defend our flag, no matter what.
Okay, thank you so much. Give them another round of applause, please. Yes, so we, unfortunately, they say time flies when you're having fun, and we are taking our time to close the curtains on this afternoon's program. But truly, it is a joyful close. I can say that I definitely enjoyed my time being here with you all. I've learned many things, and I'm hoping that you too enjoyed the program as well, yes? Let's give a round of applause to the organizers, the Department of Humanities, the Modern Languages arm of that department. So we invite everyone. Well, before we do so, I would like to hand over to Ms. Rodriguez to give the vote of thanks to you all and to whoever else she believes is to be thanked. Please give her a round of applause.
Well, I feel very excited to be here and to have hosted somehow this event for you guys, for all of us, for our students, for our teachers, because everybody here is our. It's Cuba, it's Jamaica, is our. So, two nations that we love, and we've been working together for many, many years. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. This is not something set, this is not something prepared. Those are my words that are coming from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting this event. Thank you, Ambassador, for supporting this event to make this real. Thank you, Dr. Lincoln, our president. Thank you, our board, and thank you, Dr. Peter King and the head of the department, that they were really, really excited with ideas since the very beginning. So everything we have planned here, I think it was like a dream coming true. Yes or no? So I think we made it. Do you think so? Yes, so thank you so much for coming here, guys. Thank you to the teachers. Thank you to the health mission that are here. We are really glad to have you, all of you, and to see that the NCU doors are open for you, and you are always welcome to visit us and to work with us. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, and let's continue enjoying something later that is coming after before we finish. Thank you so much.
Yes, so as we conclude, May the stories, songs, and lessons, as well as poems that have been shared today continue to inspire us to honor our own roots, whether we're Cuban, whether we're Jamaican, whatever ethnicity, whatever country it is that we are from. Let us continue to inspire others as well to honor their roots. Thank you so much for being here today. We thank the members of the Church Teachers College, members of the Cuban Educative Brigade. Thank you to the ambassador of the Cuban Embassy to Jamaica, His Excellency Fermin, and his lovely wife. We thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who made the time out to be here to witness such a lovely program. I know that Miss Rodriguez would have given her vote of thanks, but it would feel remiss to not thank you all for being here. And also thank you very much for having me as your host for this lovely program. And at this time, to take us out with a little song and dance, we are going to have Mr. Paul from New Road All Age, and he will invite us to dance together with the song. And afterwards, please enjoy the lovely exhibition to the left of the stage, the right of the building. There we have some lovely Caribbean dishes some lovely Cuban dishes from the Cuban cuisine. And now I will hand over to Mr. Paul and team.
Good morning, everyone. Donde el sol calienta la tierra, allí donde el corazón late más sincero. Vengo de donde el sol pasa las horas, enamorando a la rumba, cantándole aquel bolero. Traigo mi religión y mi esperanza, mezclada con mi tambor y mi melodía. Tan solo quiero que sepas lo que se siente cuando se llene tu alma de toda mi cubanía. Cubano soy de pura cepa y mis raíces las defiendo con la vida. Cubano soy y donde quiera que me encuentre cantaré herida. Vengo de donde el sol calienta la tierra donde nací, donde viviré. Por eso te canto ahora mi canción, para que sepas el porqué. A mí me dicen Cuba. Venga, todo el mundo con las palmas. Cha, 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 cha.
Para saber de verdad lo que sentirse cubano, tienes que haber nacido en Cuba, tienes que haber vivido en Cuba.
Para saber de verdad lo que sentirse cubano, tienes que leerte a Martí, la prosa de Guillén. Busca una guayabera con tu sombrero de guano, pa' que te llegue la bomba, hermano. Un cubano de verdad da la vida por su tierra, se para frente y derecho, preparado para el combate y a su bandera se aferra. Venga. Con sabor a Cuba, venga, todo el mundo con la mano para arriba y cha, cha, cha. ¿Cómo?
A mí me dicen Cuba, Cuba me llamo yo. Nadie baila como yo, nadie goza.
Oye, Yo quiero ver a todo el mundo ponerse de pie y a gozar con la música cubana. Sabor, sabor a Cuba. Venga, todo el mundo de pie y con la mano para arriba de una bulla a la gente de Cuba.
A mí me dicen Cuba, Cuba me llama.
Vamos, venga Cuba.
Nadie baila como yo, nadie goza como yo. A mí me dicen Cuba, Cuba me llamo yo.
Aunque digan lo que digan, cubano siempre seré. De San Antonio a Maicí, siempre me defenderé. Aunque el mundo esté como esté y la calle va que arde, cubano tira para adelante. Tú sabes que nunca fuimos cobardes. Venga la palma Cuba. Sabor, sabor, Cuba, 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 todo el mundo ahí, Cuba, ay Cuba, qué linda es Cuba. Yo vengo de La Habana, venimos de Cuba, mira, me pongo un sombrero y una guayabera. Yo vengo de La Habana, ¿cómo es? Y somos de primera. Mira, ay qué linda es mi Cuba, Cubita la bella. Con sabor a Cuba. Y todo el mundo así, con la manita así. Qué linda mi Cuba. Muchísimas gracias. Gracias.
What? I managed to work up a sweat. Lovely, lovely, lovely presentation. Wow. The day has come to it. Well, it's not a complete end because, as I said, after this, we're going to enjoy some lovely Cuban cuisine over to the left or the right of the stage. But at this time, it is important that we begin. It was important that we begun on the note of welcoming God's presence into our midst. And now we want to thank Him for taking us thus far to the end of such a successful program. And to do so, we invite Dr. Vincent Peterkin, Dean of the College of Humanities, Behavioral and Social Sciences, to do the closing prayer. Please stand.
Shall we stand, please? Let us pray. God of heaven, we're just so thankful that you have gifted us with the opportunity to be here today. We thank you for our neighbors who have come forward to celebrate. We thank you that we're able to celebrate with them the Cuban Culture Day. We are just so happy for them and for their worth. We thank you for the Department of Humanities that was able to put on this program and all those who supported. I want to thank you for seeing us safely through. We pray that you'll bless us now as we separate one from the other. Give us a great rest of the day and continue to protect us and keep us in your mercy and in your grace. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Have a great evening, everyone.